Okay.
Thank you for inviting me
Of course.
to speak with you.
You're my first host, so it'll be exciting because I want to kind of start a segment where I kind of like interview people, and I thought like it'd be perfect to like interview like a UGC agency owner, and also you've been like a content creator yourself, so you have like all the experience as well, so it'd be cool to interview
Yes, I'm a UGC girly at heart.
you.
Always have been, always will be.
Yeah, so we'll start with like your journey and like how you kind of started as like a content creator, and then how you developed your agency as well to be so successful to where
Okay,
it is now.
amazing. So I started my UGC journey in 2020. I always wanted to be an influencer, but I didn't know how to grow a following, and I definitely tried to grow a following. And I just never really could figure it out. I had just moved to a new city to be a model, and I wasn't making any money. And I was like, oh no, like I don't want to go back home. I don't want to like have to leave this dream life that I feel like I'm living. And I stumbled across UGC, and I was like, what's this? And I basically found the platform Billow. I don't know if you've like heard of that.
I haven't heard of it.
And that was like the only UGC platform that there was. I know now there's like Join Brands and a bunch of other ones. But so I joined that, and my first month on the platform, I made $5,000, and I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like, let me like do this full time. So I was selling high-end watches, and I was like, let me quit this job and like focus on UGC. I fell in love with creating content. I started getting clients. I was just doing little one-off videos, you know, just regular UGC type of stuff, getting clients off of Billow, getting clients off of Instagram, getting clients. I had made like a little portfolio and like posted it on like on my Google basically. And I was getting clients that way. And I started basically like forming relationships with the people that I was working with, where they were like, oh, Ellie, can we have like 10 videos a month from you? Or can we get like 20 videos a month from you? And I was like, well, that's amazing. So I started getting these clients on retainer. And basically, they started asking me, so do you, you know, work with other creators? So like, what else do you offer? Do you offer photography? Do you offer social media management? And I was like, that's all a great idea. Like, yes. And so that's kind of like how the agency was born. I started the agency in 2022. And I guess you could tell from that story, like I was very unclear on my packages. I was very unclear on like what I was offering. But now fast forward 2 years, we offer only UGC services to our clients on retainer deals.
Amazing. That's like an interesting story as well. And also because you kind of came from like being content creator, so and like a model as well. So you kind of had that kind of experience as well. So you kind of know what it is like for like content creators to work with like agencies as well. So the next question I have is what would you say? Obviously you don't like do you still make content now, would you say, or is it mainly you do sometimes now? Okay.
It depends, yeah, but like sometimes I do and sometimes I love it.
Yeah.
And I think that like a part of starting the agency was like, and maybe this is like a growth that UGC creators go through, but like I started not loving it anymore. And I
Oh,
was like, I don't know what's going on with me, but like I love you like the idea of UGC, but like the idea of like getting and being like, I love this phone. It's so amazing. Even though I like didn't really
yeah.
know much about the phone, like
Yeah.
for some reason it just wasn't. So it was kind of a very natural like transition into more like of an admin
Yeah.
situation.
No, and then you can kind of still make content on the side as well. So it's kind of like a win-win as well. I would say
Mm-hmm.
the next question is like, what would you say your approach is to creating like high converting content?
Oh my God, love this question. So I feel like you kind of know the answer to this, but
Yeah.
it's like having a strategy,
Yeah.
having a strategy
Yeah.
that aligns with your client's goals. So like one thing that I always ask, like even I asked this a long time ago when I was doing like one video projects, is like, what is your goal of this piece of UGC? Is it to be run organically? Are you going to use it for paid advertising? Because the structure of the video is different depending on what the usage is. And so I asked them some questions to like help better understand like who's their target audience, what kind of videos are they watching? And then I do market research. So like I'll dive deep into figuring out like how to make a piece of content that resonates with their target audience and their goals.
Yeah. No, that's like really interesting. I feel like a lot of content creators don't do that. Like I feel like people who are just starting, they don't kind of think of that. They kind of just like get the brief and then kind of just start making the video. And I think one thing that content creators struggle with is scripting. So how would you say they navigate that kind of
Mm-hmm. Scripting is so important. And I think in the beginning, if you're given a brief, you don't, necessarily need to know a lot about scripting. But I think an important part is like just understanding what the brand is. So like going on the website, like actually reading the description, maybe like have they put out any other content? And like that's also a great way that I look at like what kind of video should I make? Because what do they already have on their social media? And then I kind of look at like, how can I do this better? Or like in my own vibe.
Yeah.
A lot of brands will come to you and like you'll look at their Instagram or their TikTok and you'll be like, oh my God, like no wonder your videos aren't performing well. And it's like an aha moment because we like live and breathe social media.
No, yes.
So I think it's important to like check out what's going on their own social media. Also like to know like if they're taking more of like a talking kind of video style or if they're doing more of like that aesthetic kind of content.
Yeah, no, that like that's like a perfect answer, I'd say, because that's what I was like. That's what I would kind of say, like kind of looking at like inspo. Because whenever I kind of have to, make like a script from a brief, I'll kind of also look at what they're already doing and seeing what someone else has done, just for kind of like inspo purposes as well. I would say the next question is, what would you say the best? I think you've kind of answered it, but what would you say the best way is for a content creator to kind of like scale their business?
Ooh, I love this question. So I think when you're to the point where like you're getting gigs, you're having like one-off projects, maybe you have like, people DMing you on Twitter or like you've built up a strong portfolio. What I would do is I would start thinking about, okay, what other things am I good at? So can I create some type of package bundle that a client would find really valuable? And then like, how much am I able to take on without feeling overwhelmed?
No.
So I would think about those two things because before you even can think about scaling, you need to figure out what you're going to offer.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And then like what capacity do you have for it? And then I would just start testing. And like this package, you do not have to be married to it.
Yeah.
I changed my package 10 different times and my pricing and everything. So like play with the pricing, play with the package, see what maybe you take on a package and you're like, I actually don't like doing that. Let me not put that in my next package with whoever I'm selling to next. But now I learned.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah.
So I feel like the best way to like scale is like to first build your larger package and just start pitching it.
Yeah. Amazing. And then the next question is kind of like a follow-up. I would say kind of with like rates and things, how would you kind of go about that as like a newbie and then even kind of like, kind of scaling and like how would you kind of navigate rates? Would you say to have like a strict rate or would you say to kind of like price yourself differently for different brands? Because different brands have different budgets. My advice is always to kind of ask the budget for the budget first and then kind of go from there. So yeah, what was your?
I think that's really, really good advice. I think doing that also like will help you not accidentally undervalue yourself and like charge, $50 when they're willing to pay like $100.
Yeah.
I think that like when I started my UGC journey, it was just such a different landscape where it was like UGC was very new and I don't know like about how it was when you started, but like people were paying like $30 a video when I started. So it was like very, very low rates. And I know now it's like completely different. I would say like for a super, super newbie, maybe like do like 1 to 2 weeks of like $30 a video, get a portfolio built,
Sure. Yeah.
Get out of that price range, go to 50 or like double it as you feel comfortable.
No, for sure. Yeah.
And then like, I think a really healthy rate for like a UGC video is like $100 to $200. No. And if you're getting more than that, good for you.
Yeah. Would you say it kind of depends on like what they want you to record? So if it's like a talking video, would you say kind of charge less or would you say kind of like stick to your kind of rates?
I have always stuck to my rates because there's still a lot of value that comes along with a talking video. Like they still need your face and your voice
True.
even though it's not a lot of scenes. So like the way that I did my pricing when I wasn't offering any of the agency packages was like, if you want a video that's, like 15 seconds to like 60 seconds, that's fine. It's all, $100 or whatever. If you now want a video that's like longer than that, it's going to be more expensive. Even though I know it's like kind of harder to make a video that's like shorter.
Yeah.
That's the way I charged that like made sense in their brains.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah. No, yeah, that's like really good advice for rates. And then the next question I have is with like UGC portfolios, how would you say they should kind of go about, I guess you asked me this on the X Space, but how would you say they should go about making it like fresh and like new to kind of content creation?
Yep. Well, I think a portfolio is super important. I mean, it's how you're going to start closing your first clients or like getting your first collabs. So I think in the beginning, like you don't need to spend any money to get started. There's Canva for free.
Definitely.
I would choose a template maybe that you find cute or like make your own. And then, tell a little bio about yourself, show some videos. I would break it into categories, if you want to do beauty, wellness, fashion, have it on separate pages so it's like really easy to see. And then I would recommend literally every other week changing those videos because you're going to be improving so much so quickly that it's like at some point you don't want them to see your video from 4 weeks ago when like you were a noob to editing.
Yeah, no, yeah, sure. I think it's like, I think it's just keeping it up to date as well when you're coming out to brands. The next question I have, what would you say like the biggest like not red flags, what would you say you see on like content creators that reach out to you to kind of work with you? What is the reason you don't work with them? I mean, they could obviously improve, but what can they improve in their like kind of content and portfolio, would you say?
Yep. Okay. Love that question. So I know I said this on the space, but I feel like one of the most important and one thing that we value the most is like how quickly a creator responds. And it's like, even if they don't respond immediately, it's like they respond to us within like 24 hours on a business day. Like that's really important for us because like we obviously like represent them in a sense to our clients. And it's like, if the creators that we're working with aren't responding to us, like we can't reply to our clients.
Yeah.
That's like not a good look. So the first step I would say is like, if you're trying to like close jobs, like be super responsive because people want to know that they can trust you to like deliver what you say you're going to deliver and in the timeline. I think on top of that is like making sure your portfolio showcases your best videos that you've made. Like the lighting is really good, your audio sounds good, maybe you even like wrote out a voiceover, so like the voiceover is really amazing, your storytelling is on fleek. Like I wouldn't just add videos in the portfolio just to have like 20 videos in the portfolio. Like better to have 4 videos in the portfolio that are all like a 5 out of 5.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like if I go on like a creator's portfolio and I'm like, well, I like 50% of these, but the other 50% are like not good. Like that's a little bit of a red flag because I'm like, am I gonna get this? Am I gonna get the good creator or is it gonna be like a bad day?
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, no, definitely. Because I'd say like definitely with like, I think like a portfolio is kind of like, it kind of like represents you as well. So you kind of want to put your best self out there as well. I know that some content creators have like a video about themselves. Would you kind of recommend that as well? Would you say that's kind of something that kind of stands out? Or would you say them having like a personal brand as well is important? Because I think a lot of people have like personal brands now where kind of, where agencies kind of find them. So where would you say you find a lot of your content creators that you source?
That's an amazing question. I think having an intro video never hurts. It's always, good to show your personality, that maybe you, what your voice sounds like, and like just kind of like feel out your personality.
Yeah.
In terms of finding creators, I think that Twitter is an amazing place to find creators, but I think that it's also an amazing place to find brands to work with as a creator or find agencies or digital marketing people to work with. People are always tweeting like looking for UGC creators or like seeking blank blank. And it's like, if you can build relationships with those people that are tweeting that, and get on their roster, get on their like, top 10 roster, like they're going to funnel you work before they go and tweet something like that.
No, for sure, yeah. And like, would you say there's like a certain kind of keyword that you kind of search for? So like, say if you want to work with someone in the UK, you kind of search like UK content creator or UK UGC. So would you say
Mhm.
there's certain key terms or certain elements that they have to have in their bio that they need to include on X or Twitter? Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
no, definitely. I
Yeah.
mean, I would, and I think the reason that I do it like this is just because like I never have been like that good at like SEO or
Yeah.
like figuring out like what is a good keyword. And so like I'll go in ChatGPT and like type out like half my life story, but like,
Yeah.
be like, hey, my name's Ellie, like I own a content agency, I do this and this, and I'm passionate about this. And I'll be like, give me 5 keywords that are like, SEO friendly.
Yeah.
And I think it'll help you.
That's smart.
One
Yeah.
thing that I was telling someone earlier this week was like, it's so important in your like first line of like whatever to be like, hey, my name's blank. I'm a UGC creator based in wherever you're based.
Yeah.
Because that's like one of the main restrictions of a UGC project. Can we? So you want to make it very like obvious where you live.
No, definitely, yeah. And is there any other elements that you look out for? So, I would say obviously like email, like having that email directly there. So would you say having it on like the first page of their portfolio and like even having it in their bio? So because some content creators you want to work with, you just want to find their email, but it's difficult to find. So what would you say you kind of look out for
Mm-hmm.
on their portfolio? You kind of just want to get to the point and find something.
I really like when creators like have at the top of their portfolio their name, their social links, and then their email like right under that because
Yeah.
like for me like if I have to go looking for their email like we have a lot of creators that apply to like our projects like
Yeah.
sometimes like I'll just straight up like not include them because I'm like I can't find your email, dude. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know, like, how they even include you in this. So I think definitely, and then like the social links are like just a cool way to see. I mean, I never really judge a creator based on their social media because I think that at least in my experience of being a UGC creator, like I was so busy creating content for my UGC clients that like I didn't want to create content for my own social media. And like my page was like struggling because of
Yeah.
that. So I try to not judge them of that, but I still think it's helpful to like be able to see their social media.
No, for sure. And another thing, would you say age is important? Because I see a lot of kind of tweets saying, oh, we're looking for like ages 40 to 60. So would you say age is something important to add and include? Um,
Yeah, I would say age is an important age, location. I mean, like tell about yourself. Like if you're a mom, definitely like add that you're a mom, or like if you have a pet, because like a lot of times, and like we also send out emails like this all the time where we're like looking for 45 plus, or like looking for someone who's like based in South Florida, or looking for someone who's pregnant. So it's like if you have those details in your portfolio, or like if you're like pregnant, for example, right now, like change your bio, like pregnant UGC creator.
yeah, no, literally, just
Because like there's a lot of brands that are looking for that. Or like if you
yeah,
love soccer or like something that's really niche, like there's so many brands that are ultra niche that need creators like in the niche for it to like even make sense.
yeah. So would you say
And
like
then you can be like
yeah,
doing what you love too.
yeah, no, true. So would you say if I liked fashion, would you say kind of having that also fashion, you just would kind of make me stand out in that kind of space?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I would get a little bit more specific than fashion. Fashion and wellness are the only ones that's like you need to go like niche because there's so many people in the fashion niche. Like everybody loves fashion. Like it's the fun thing, all the girls. And it's like one issue with that is like there's a lot of creators that will create content in exchange for clothes.
Yeah, true.
And so it's like, how then do you stand out and pick an actual package for something that someone else is doing for free? Well, the way that you can do that is niche yourself as like, maybe you niche yourself as like eco-friendly fashion influence, or sorry, UGC creator.
Yeah.
Or if you don't want to do like eco-friendly, you could do like beachy
Oh,
or like
true, yeah.
London style, like city something.
Yeah, and like niching down to like where you're located, like London.
Target those brands that like have that style.
Yeah, no, because that's quite smart. Because say if obviously someone lived in the UK, they're obviously likely to follow me because obviously they're going to find like fashion in London because obviously I'm going to source things that are in the UK. So that's actually a good tip there. My next
Mhm.
question is like the future of UGC. So like obviously like with AI right now, so my hair keeps annoying me. With like AI right now, what do you think is like the future with UGC, and do you think it's going to be kind of taken over by AI? Like what are your thoughts on AI? Do you currently use it in your agency or
Mhm. So, okay. I don't know if you've like played around on Canva, but there's like AI literally that looks like a human that will like talk
I
and
haven't
does
seen
like
that
talking
yet.
head style
Oh, that's
videos.
crazy. No, I
Yeah.
haven't seen that.
I mean, it's a little robotic, but like really barely noticeable. It's insane.
Yeah.
So I think that like potentially talking heads are kind of on the way out, but like I think as long as you're showing your personality and your UGC, and like that could be like the way that you speak, because like an AI cannot do like all the voice
Yeah.
fluctuations or whatever that
No,
like
it
we
doesn't have
do in
that
our
ability, yeah.
right. So like being as creative and unique and yourself, then that's the best way to future proof yourself, I
Yeah.
think. But I do think that AI is going to come in and do a lot of the talking head videos. But we use AI in our agency not to create content. We use AI to like generate subtitles
Yeah.
sometimes. And then we'll use AI also like sometimes to help us like with hooks or like creative angles sometimes. Um, I think also like back to like scripting a little bit, like if you do, if you're really, really struggling, I think that ChatGPT can be a good point to like help you open your mind up a little bit more. I don't think that it's always very good because some of the scenes and stuff that it will recommend is just like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But I think that it is still a good way to like kind of get your thoughts moving. So that's the only AI that we're using. I mean, I feel like all the softwares that we use probably use AI and I don't even know it. But
Yeah. No, true.
so I think UGC is going to keep growing. And I think that I kind of think that micro communities surrounding UGC will keep growing. Like, sorry, meaning like if you're a fashion London UGC creator, that's going to help you really stand out rather than just being like a generic UGC creator for any niche.
Yeah, no, for sure. So do you think that's going to be the future of UGC?
I do, because I think that UGC is becoming competitive. So
Definitely.
like when I started UGC, like I was so broad and that helped me being broad.
Yeah.
But I think now it's changing a little bit where it's like like an anti-aging brand doesn't necessarily want someone like us to like represent their brand because like
Yeah.
we're 20 years old and it's like we want in the world. So I do think that like that is the future where it's like hyper specific, like pet owner UGC. And I think that's like also a really great thing though, because it's going to open a lot of you can really say like I want to create UGC for soccer brands and like
Oh, yeah.
that can be like your career.
Yeah, no, for sure. That can kind of be your niche and you can kind of work and you can kind of like, and then in that sense, you can kind of also build your audience as well. So you can kind of be an influencer too, I'd say, doing that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because like
Mm-hmm.
I post like kind of, I haven't, the thing is, I mean, I'm not that active on my TikTok, although like I've had brands reach out to me because of TikTok and like, oh, I love your TikTok. But then they find out I'm also like a UGC content creator. So I've been paid double for like making like a UGC video and then be like, oh, I can also post it on my TikTok for like double, for the
Yes.
activity. So I've been paid like double for like it's not even extra work. I've just got to post it on my page. So would you think that could be like an area where kind of you can kind of do a bit of both UGC and influencing?
Mm-hmm. I definitely do. And I think that there's a lot of value in like TikTok shop. So like
Yeah.
if you are eligible for that, like don't sleep on that because there's a lot of people and that's where you can also be really niche specific, like and be like a beauty creator or like a fashion creator because it's like if your audience is like buying from you or even just like engaging with your content, like that is so valuable for a brand and they will pay a lot for that.
No, for sure, yeah. Have you done TikTok shop yourself or have you got any advice kind of on how to kind of start that?
Yeah. So we sometimes do like TikTok shop packages for our clients.
Amazing.
But in terms of just like a creator, I think that I was just telling someone about this the other day. To start, I think just well, you have to have like 5,000 followers. And I think if you don't have 5,000 followers, you're able to like create a business account and like basically pay, I think like $100 to get access to being a TikTok shop creator. What I would recommend is like pick a niche and like post organic content that's not affiliated with TikTok shop, and then like every fourth video or something, like integrate something in, because then people don't feel like you're like selling too much to them, but you're still warming your audience up to like, I sell stuff.
True, because there's some pages that just like hard sell, like every single video is them talking about something. But I find like even videos that people where like they're directly kind of showing something, like directly like, yeah, this, and like it's so obvious that it's like they're selling it, but it does get views and sometimes it gets a lot of sales. So yeah, it's kind of like, you know, I've even seen like old people, like a lot of like mums doing it as well. So it's like, I guess it's like open to anyone. And yeah, like, that's something I kind of need to get on as well soon, because yeah, there's definitely a lot of money there. Because I posted like a beanie video, literally like a lip syncing video with like a beanie that I was wearing, and I like linked it on TikTok shop, and like a few people brought it. I think I made like what, like $19. It's nothing amazing, but I didn't mean to. Like that's just like that could pay for my Nando's or pay for my food, you know. So
yeah,
so it's
no, like you're like just didn't do anything, like that. Yeah, it's amazing. That's kind of how I started with like TikTok shop, and I really don't do a lot of that just because I don't have a lot of time to do that, but I linked like a product that I was already using, like a lip liner or something.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it made any sales, but it was so easy where it's just like, okay, that was easy. Or like you're in your car and you want to like talk about, you know, whatever you're going to be talking about that day, and like whip in a product for a second, like make your single queen.
Making it natural. Yeah, no, for sure. And then the last question I kind of have for you, not really a question, but kind of like, where can people find you and find more about you? And obviously we're going to be hosting another space on X, so people can keep an eye on that, and hopefully we can, you know, organize another kind of session with you on here soon. But yeah, what's maybe like your one kind of takeaway for like newbies or anyone kind of watching to get into this space? And then then just tell us like where they can find you, and and like what you post, because I think you're also on like YouTube and you're very active on X as well. So yeah.
Yes. Okay. So tip for newbies is just start. Don't feel self-conscious about your skills or that you want to improve or blah, blah, blah. Just start today. Start practicing pitching. Trial and error is the best way to learn, at least for me. And I think, you know, you're going to learn a lot faster just by doing rather than getting stuck in perfectionism.
Yeah.
I'm very active on Twitter. I'm very active on YouTube. I also have a newsletter. So all of that is under Ellison, Ellison, SCAR, SCAR. So that's where they can find me. I loved coming on here. I'd love to come back, keep doing UGC, agency, everything in between.
Yeah, no, it was so nice to have you. Yeah, thank you for being here.